Good morning to one and all. Today, I am going to discuss about 3D printing, the application of 3D printing for industrial IoT technologies. I am Shajulin Benedict and I am heading the incubation centers of Indian Institute of Information Technology, Kottayam. Very short note about me is I completed postdoc at the Technical University Munich, Germany, and have undertaken few projects, funded projects in the domain specifically like IoT, specifically towards blockchains, and also towards entrepreneurial related projects. And prior to that, I have also worked in several projects, including few European projects, and I also guided few PhD candidates. Today's program at this international conference is about promoting innovations, making the innovations more particular to involve 3D printers. And we are going to just see how the industrial IoT will be benefited. The Internet of Things, more specifically towards the subdomain called industrial IoT, will get benefited due to this technology. Of course, we all have to rise to the challenge, which is not easy. It requires lots of innovations. The innovation index defines how far you could move ahead, how a nation could grow, how the economy of the nation also improves. So it depends on the innovation index. Towards that, it is important that we have to move towards success, and we have to rise up. In fact, it's always told that the things are not impossible, right? It's always possible. We are definitely thinking about the possibility of success. And for this, we need innovations. So typically, what is innovation? How the innovation grew in the earlier stage and how the innovation is moving forward, how the innovation is taking birth in the younger minds. In fact, it is considered as the specific instrument of entrepreneurship. Right? If you want to develop innovations, if you want to become an entrepreneur, you have to think out of the box. It is like you want to develop something which is not normal. If something is normal, then there is no innovation. If everything is as constant as possible, then there is no innovation. So if you want to bring innovation, you want to definitely develop something new. It is told Solomon's temple in Jerusalem, at that period around 957 BC, they had developed lightning rods. A few elevator technology, elevators that was designed during Roman and emperor's period. The birth of Google, it's also started with a simple question from two creative thinking computer nerds at Stanford University, Mr. Larry Page as well as Sergey Brin. How to rank the page, because earlier we all know computers, the internet browsing system was not so easy. We want to know the links of each and every web servers to get the information. So that was very tough. And then the search engines were able to find out some of the appropriate keywords, and Google was slightly different, was trying to find something new, was able to prepare the page ranks, and that was emerging out of the problems, right? So we want to think about the problems that are in and around. If we are able to find out, if we are able to identify the problems, then the innovation will grow. Even in here, if you see most of the people over here, you all have identified certain problems from the research papers, research articles. And based on that problems, you are able to find out some new solutions, or you are able to find out the technology which could bring in some sort of idea, some sort of novelty. So in all basic things, if you see, the problem is the base, and the problems are sometimes unnoticed. If you take the research field in particular domain, let us say Internet of Things, if you browse thousands of papers and if you see what is happening in all these papers, there may people would have told like the communication system should follow certain protocols. You have to use only LoRaWAN technology for particular applications, and so on, so on, so on. And they would have told like this is a problem, this is the solution, and so we are learned, we are trained to see that these are the problems. If these problems arise, we want to solve this problem based on certain methods or certain technologies and so on. If we just follow as like that, there is no innovation. Okay, but you, as a researcher, as an innovator, what you normally do, you will try to see this as the problem which can be merged with some new technology, right? Instead of applying normal electronic concepts, can we apply some soft methods? Can we apply artificial intelligence over there? So bringing in some new technologies, new approaches, you will be able to address the same problem with newer newer ideas, newer subjects, and because of that, a new domain, new creative domain will come across, right? Normally, what are the barriers if you see in creative thinking? Negative attitude, right? Fear of failure, excessive stress. In fact, not having time, the professor would have told like you want to complete it within this particular time, so you are focusing on that, and because of that you may not find time. Or you specifically follow the rules, like okay, the particular researcher has told like this is the problem, so we want to use this method. So you will follow as such, and therefore you will not find time. You keep on making assumptions, or you rely on specific logic. Like, if a particular agriculture-based problem is there, you want to use certain sensors and so on. So you are fixing to something, and therefore there is no very innovative ideas emerging out of it. So I just try to bring this small idea of how the brain works, so that we will be able to understand how the thinking process happens. You all know that the brain consists of left hemisphere as well as right hemisphere, and left hemisphere is responsible for logics, analytics, reasoning, and so on, whereas right hemisphere is more towards creativity. Merging both the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere, if you merge both, if you fully utilize both the left as well as right hemisphere, the capability that you use, the capacity of your brain that you use will be high. There comes the innovations. Okay, innovations, the innovative idea that you bring in has a certain format or some sort of pictorial representation. This could be printed using some 3D printing technologies. That's where we are going to see how the innovations could be brought about. And we are also going to see how the Internet of Things, more specifically the domain like industrial Internet of Things, is getting benefited out of this 3D printing technology. Okay. Yes, innovation normally requires team. It also expects that you should have some specific skills as well as creative thinking, and you should be able to manage those innovations. There are certain steps or, of course, habits. You have to think out of the box. You should be always eager to do things. You should sleep with problems so you get new ideas. You should not judge that this is how it will happen. You should suspend the judgments. Listen to your depth mind, because your mind normally says what should be the problem, what should be the solution for the particular problem, and you should decide fast. Not only that, you should keep banking the ideas. Like, for example, if several researchers from the industrial IoT domain has proposed several ideas, you should keep on banging those ideas. So once when you bang all these ideas, when it reaches 100 ideas, naturally you will come out with newer ideas. So now let us come to the point how these innovations are really getting benefited in the industrial IoT domain. So before that, I am just going to give you a brief about Internet of Things. Of course, Internet of Things is typically called the future Internet. Okay. Several of my presentations about Internet of Things is also talking about Internet of Things, which is basically feature internet. It's a kind of feature internet where you can expect trillions of sensors that will be connected. Depending on the problems that are there, you may be able to find out newer solutions by connecting sensors together. Sensors are connected in a fashion that they will give the new ideas, new suggestions to the user. So you just walk down the street to a particular mall, you should get a notification saying that the fridge in your home, at your home, is not having sufficient it is not having sufficient milk, or maybe you want to or some reminders in your mobile phone should pop up saying that you should purchase a particular object, and this particular object is available on this mall, and the price of this is also very cheap. It should also compare with the price, budgeting that is available on your bank. So it should say the credits are very fine. Okay, you still have this much balance. You can purchase this. If you purchase this, you will be saving almost like 10,000 rupees, or maybe you are saving 3,000, 5,000 rupees. So there comes the involvement of Internet of Things. That is, we are extending the Internet to things, the objects. So these objects are now going to talk to each other. The machines will talk to each other, and finally you will get the benefit. The users of that particular application will get benefit. So in very short sense, if we say IoT is the extended Internet according to Wikipedia, and according to Gartner research, it says that it's a network of physical objects that contain embedded technology to communicate and sense, interact the internal states. Of course, the trends of Internet of Things in India is very high. You could see the number of patents that are filed in India. You could see how much the amount was invested, and also how much the amount will be invested till 2030. You could notice like $1.5 trillion amount will be invested. In fact, there are several domains where this IoT, the Internet of Things, is benefited, like in smart cities, in connected industries, in connected building, connected cars, smart energy, connected health, smart supply chain, smart agriculture, smart retail, and it's not limited. It's everywhere. Most of the places this particular technology, Internet of Things, is being applied. And when you say Internet of Things, you can bring lot of innovations. If you want to bring lot of innovations in the form of products, if you want to design a new product, typically 3D printers will be more useful. That's what we are going to see, come to learn little bit in this particular topic. Yeah, the IoT patents are very huge. I am just showing you the different trends that are there in this particular field, IoT. And there are several platforms that support IoT, like Microsoft Azure. Okay, around 29% of the users are utilizing it. Google Cloud IoT, Amazon, and so on. So most of the cloud providers who provided infrastructure as a service have utilized IoT for this particular purpose. In a very short form, what this IoT mean is, it consists of sensors, it consists of actuators, as well as it consists of networked devices. Sensors in the sense, it is going to sense some particular, properties, okay, like temperature, lightning conditions, and so on. Networked devices are going to do some computations and say whether we need to provide some alarm, or whether we need to send some reminders, or do we make some visualization graphs showing what is the trend, what is the current trend, what will be the future trend, and so on. So some sort of analytics should be done with the networked devices, whereas actuators are basically devices that are going to make some actions. Yeah, that's what I could show here. There are several number of sensors: light sensor, touch sensor, humidity sensor, force sensor, and so on. And when you talk about networked nodes or networked devices, you could either go just with cloud, or you could apply fog as well as edge. So as you can see, cloud is like centralized one with a lot of power, computing power, whereas fog as well as edge are very near to the sensor nodes, and they are basically trying to figure out whether we want to send all the data to the cloud, or we need to filter some of those data so that you get little analytics very near to your device itself. When you talk about industrial IoT, 3D printers are very well used. So what this industrial IoT is, it is basically to apply intelligence using sensors and the machines over there, such that the machines should communicate each other. Machines should talk each other. Okay, smart designs and everything should become a practice, such that the processes involved in the industry becomes much simpler. Okay, when the processes are becoming simpler, naturally the cost efficiency of any product development in the industrial sector will be very feasible for us. So the industrial sectors, including 3D printing companies, okay, energy industry, health sector industry, everywhere, you could apply this concept of industrial IoT, which is also called which is also called as Industry 4.0 in the European sector, and it is in the USA they call it like industrial IoT. Okay, so the industrial IoT it is to preventively make something, or proactively think about how to make the processes much simpler. Or you let us take a case like car designs and so on. You could the machines from different plants of manufacturing cars will communicate each other. The machines will talk, saying that now I need 10 more cars. Now I need the raw materials for certain for manufacturing the certain parts of the car. Or now some machines will communicate to the machines especially the software robots of the whole internet, and it will try to make some bargain to fetch or to collect the raw materials from the whole globe. So the idea here is the costs involved in developing processes will become very, very slow, very smaller. Okay. 3D printing is very well applied in industrial sectors, more specifically to automate certain processes or to do rapid prototyping before the product could be manufactured. So this means a user or a customer is having some sort of innovative idea or innovative thinking of developing something. So what he does, he could either design or he could take the existing 3D design of something. Let us take a car manufacturing. He wants to get a new model of a car, not just like Ferrari, but something with a new design. So what he could do, he could take the existing 3D models of the Ferrari, and then from there he could make slight changes, okay, in the design, and then he could submit this design to 3D, to manufacturing plants of such car manufacturers. This is automatized such that the designs are taken. It is driven to the 3D printing units that may be attached to the industries, car manufacturing industries. And then the prototype is designed. All the feasibility study of that particular car is analyzed, technically validated, cost-wise it is manipulated. Okay, and finally the values, like what will be the cost, what are the impacts, what are the suggestions the technical guy is willing to provide. So those information will be transferred back to the user, and if the user is ready, everything will be e-signed, and contract will be signed. Immediately the design, the prototype model can be taken forward to the machines, so the machines will talk each other, and finally the design which is liked by the customer can be printed. Okay, based on the prototype, it can be taken to a big 3D printers also, which is still under research. Okay. So certain parts, certain units of the car could be really printed in the big 3D printers, and these printed objects can be assembled by the machines, and the lovely design proposed by the customer can be manufactured within a very short span of time, and it can be given to the customer. There are several types of or the different materials are also available, like nylon based 3D printing, thermoplastic based 3D printing, polylactic acid based 3D printing like PLAs. PLAs are very commonly used in many of the schools as well as institutions, ceramic based titanium and so on. So the idea is you get flexible design, very rapid productization. You can realistically think like new designs, so innovations will grow. You can minimize the waste. You can also easily get the access. So it is typically applied in several sectors like education, industry, medical, construction sector, art and jewelry. And these are some of the very simple models. Of course, for car manufacturing too, you can easily design the car in one stretch. Okay, you can design the buildings. Okay, if you search in internet too, you will find how 3D printers are used these days to print the buildings. Okay, including the location where the TV should be mounted and so on, so on. All the designs will be done in one stretch within very short span of time with very less wastage. Okay, so industrial IoT, in industrial sector, with the help of these 3D printers, lot of innovations could happen. And since machines are communicating to each other, the speed of processes as well as the decision making is becoming more quick, and that's why you could see lot of innovations coming out of this. Of course, some of the products which we are also trying, based on IoT, apart from industrial IoT alone, if you see like rubber tree yield, as well as smart bin, air quality analysis, toy designing, and so on, are found at our location. So we have incubation centers where we support ideas. There are certain schemes where you could apply. So you are always invited to apply to those schemes. Certain schemes you can even attract 15 lakhs to 1 crore. Depending on how effective your idea is, and how it matches with the available schemes at that particular time. So with this, I thank all the organizers of this conference, and also the invitees of this program. Thank you so much. If any questions are there, you could always feel free to write to me at shajulin@iitkottayam.ac.in. Thank you.